Or they try to.
Hi everyone, we're here today with Erica Bridgeman, who is a Montreal musician and composer. If I'm not mistaken, you compose for film and you do the singer-songwriter thing around Montreal, is that correct?
Yeah, I also compose for video games and I want to get into the circus scene.
Awesome, awesome. Have you written anything for circus?
I have, but the circus has not been produced. So I've got all this music for a circus production, but it's still in the works and hopefully it is going to happen, but there's no really guarantees on that. There's a lot of things up in the air about it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
As I understand it, though, today you're going to play guitar and sing for us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've got a whole a bunch of repertoire that I've done. I'm going to be recording an album this summer of it actually, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm recording at the Oven Studio in CJLO. So yeah, the pieces that I have today, I've got To a Boy in Blue that I'm going to perform and Hate Song for Stella.
Awesome.
2 songs.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the backstory for To a Boy in Blue, and then we'll hear it.
Okay, so my grandfather, his name was James Newman Bridgeman, rather. He wrote poems. He was a really great poet, and when my grandfather's plane was shot down in World War II, he wrote this poem called To a Boy in Blue, and it's about my grandfather's plane being shot down and what happened to him when he was taken as a prisoner of war.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, and so I mean it's a really, really good poem. It's really, really powerful, and it's been framed sitting in my grandparents' living room for probably a very long time, but I only noticed it when I was visiting them a few months ago. And I had my guitar with there, and I was just singing and playing some music for them, and then they both nodded off, but I guess that's probably a compliment in this case.
Something, well, you know, it's relaxing. Old people sleep.
Yeah, no, it was nice. It was just nice to spend time with them. And when they were both sleeping and I was just sitting there in their living room with my guitar, and there was this poem was just sitting in its frame beside me, so I just turned it into a song. And
Ready lyrics.
yeah, exactly. I do love writing lyrics and sending my own lyrics to music, but I like writing music more than I like writing poems, so sometimes I run out of poems and then I want to write music and don't have any poem to work with, so this was a nice chance to work with an already finished set of text.
Well, that sounds like a really amazing tribute to your family.
Yeah, and
right.
I played it at his funeral too, which was a really emotional time for all of us, and that was my debut performance of this piece, so this will be the internet debut, I guess.
Well, a much happier occasion.
Yeah,
at least.
Definitely.
All right, let's hear it.
All right.
Or they try to.
We sat together in a cozy room, just mother, dad, and son. War clouds arose and cast their gloom across the setting sun. It was not long before those clouds just split a home in two and took that boy so far away in a suit of Air Force blue, in a suit of Air Force blue. The war went on and battles raged. The home, though, still was there, awaiting for that boy in blue to use the easy chair. But fate decides, and who are we to try and turn the scales of battles fought in moonlit skies, where only faith prevails, where only faith prevails. Then he spends his days and nights in a camp so far away. God grant that a war cloud soon may pass and bring him home to stay. God grant that a war cloud soon may pass and bring him home to stay.
Or they try to.
Wow, that was fantastic. Very
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank
Well
you.
done, well done. And as for your second piece, actually, if I may, her second piece is called Hate Song for Stella, and I'm going to provide a little bit of the backstory to it. I've known Erica for forever and a day, since 2009, actually. And we're both musicians, and one of our favorite pastimes is to have some lemonade or some beer and sit on my back balcony and play each other's guitars. Now, my guitar is a 1969 Epiphone that came from my mother, and it is the biggest beast of an instrument that you've ever seen in your life. It's huge, and it has
awful.
steel strings, and her name is Stella. So
Painful steel strings.
every time Erica would pick up my guitar, it would be
It's one of the most painful things.
ridiculous. Yeah, it takes someone, well, it takes me to play it. She's my match.
You need to get used to that instrument. I mean, you need to get used to any instrument, but this instrument in particular needs a lot of time to really learn how to work around how large and painful it is.
Gives new meaning to developing thick skin.
Yeah.
So Erica's instrument is named Julia. So she wrote a song, and she came to me with this song, and she said, "Please don't hate me." And then she proceeded to play Hate Song for Stella, as I named it.
Yeah, it used to be called Dear Julia, because I thought it might be nicer to have more of a positive name for that song, but Hate Song for Stella really is the one that's stuck.
Yeah, yeah.
And in all fairness, I don't hate Stella. It's not her fault that she is the way that she is. That's not her fault. I don't blame her. It's just we don't really have the same rapport that I have with Julia.
That's
And before we go into it, just from my side of the story, so Julia is she's a fantastic guitar, and she's very easy to play. And she's a classical guitar made in the 50s in Japan, and I love this instrument so much. And then it's so easy to play Julia that when I go to another instrument like Stella, it's physically and emotionally painful. It's so hard to play it. But that was only what kind of motivated the second half of the song. The first half was that I hadn't written any music in a while, and I was kind of upset about how I hadn't written any music for probably a few months or so. And so the beginning of the song is based on how I haven't written music in a while and this upset me. And then the second part actually is about how every single time I play Stella, even though it's so painful and a terrible experience, I'm usually really inspired afterwards to write something. And a lot of the music that I've written, I guess over the course of a year, a lot of the songs that I wrote, and many of the songs that are going to go onto the album that I'm doing, they were all inspired after playing Stella.
Wow.
So it's not, Hate Song for Stella isn't really a very fair name for this piece, because it's also kind of a thank you.
Yeah.
It's a bittersweet thank you.
Going back on that thing of inspiration, so I'm glad that my guitar was an inspiration. But do you have any other inspirational, do you take inspiration from other people, other things? Where does your inspiration for writing come from?
Well, that's a very complicated question. A lot of the times, in a kind of cliche sort of way, my inspiration has come from things that have hurt me, maybe ex-boyfriends, or maybe when my friends have betrayed me, or things that have caused me physical pain. I've got a piece called The Price of Art, and it's about a cyst that I developed on my wrist because of improper piano technique. And that it was just, it's emotionally painful, but it's also physically painful, and so I have a song devoted to that. So a lot of pain, unfortunately, inspires my music.
It's true. Sometimes I forget that you're originally a pianist, because I hear you. It's just so much easier to bring a guitar to a gig. So I hear you playing guitar more than piano.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm really glad that I started with piano, because I think that I have a really solid understanding of music, and music theory was much easier, and ear training was much easier because of piano. But I mean, I don't play piano anymore nearly as much as I do percussion and guitar and singing, just based on convenience and what opportunities have come up. But yeah, so the other things that inspire me, that what I found in the past probably 2 or 3 years, I've started being inspired by not just things that hurt me in an angsty teenage kind of way, but also things that I find really beautiful. And I have a piece called "The Ring of Silver Fire," which was the first piece of music that I ever wrote because I loved someone. And it was like a platonic love. It wasn't even a romantic kind of love. It was just, I was really inspired by this person. He was my first real inspiration to go into circus. And his name is Justin Dale. He's an outstanding circus performer, and he was just such an inspiring person to know and to be around and to start working with, that I wrote this song that was about that. And it was, so I mean, I'm not only inspired by misery and pain anymore now, I'm also inspired by love and beauty.
I think that developing as an artist often follows like the lines of the grieving pattern, which is kind of ironic, but like if you look at like a lot of artists, their early work like starts with like phases of various different phases of denial and anger, and then you get to that acceptance place, and then your music, it becomes this thing that is like living, and it involves a balance of like a respect for the beauty and the gratitude for life, as well as like the acknowledgement of these pains and these wounds. Yeah,
that's exactly it. And I'm glad that I'm past the point of only writing because I'm upset, because frankly my life is really great and I'm not upset anymore. So I've got more beautiful things to write about. I mean, not to say that I don't still have sad things to write about, because I mean, I have a song about my grandparents and how one of them just passed away recently, and the other one is 93 or 94 years old. So I mean, she's still really, really strong, and she's probably going to live to 150, but still, I mean, it's still merited a song based out of pain. But I guess that's still a more smaller version of the large-scale artistic grieving process.
The silver lining of that is that if your grandma's 93, 94, I get to keep you for a while. Good genes.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, as we discussed earlier, my grandpa was a prisoner of war and managed to survive that. So, I mean, he was also in the forced march across Germany in the wintertime, and he was like a 10th of the people that did that survived, and he was one of them. So, yeah, I come from strong stuff.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear that hate song for Stella.
Let's do it. How can I write so my songs don't sound the same? How can I cry so my tears don't run riverbeds in my cheeks? Is it my fault, or is my muse to blame? Is it my fault if my canvas always looks so bleak? Looks so bleak. Why should I dance if the dance steps never change? Why should I eat if I'm just gonna get hungry again? How can I write if my songs all sound the same? How would I write if inspiration never came, never came again? Stella, you always cut so deep. Stella, your razors pierce my fingers and make my soul weak. you wash away my sin. You pretend it's not a crime. To be where I have been.
Or they try to.
Wow, that was equally beautiful.
Thanks.
Good job. So you mentioned earlier Ring of Silver Fire and as
Yeah.
part of your circus. One of your circus friends actually is the inspiration for this. I would love to hear Ring of Silver Fire. Do you mind playing it for us?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Awesome. So do you have anything else you'd like to say about it? Maybe.
Yeah, it's a bit of an embarrassing story actually. So when I listen to music, I don't always listen to the words. I listen to kind of the voice as an instrument, which sounds totally pompous. I think a little bit stuck up, which I'm sorry about, but that's just the way that I just don't listen to words. And so I kind of assume that no one else listens to words. And so I remember one time, right after I wrote this song, I was so excited about it that I wanted to play it for Justin. And so I brought my guitar all the way over to his house. And I remember I also brought my laptops because I had done the whole thing in sheet music and like transcribed it perfectly with lyrics and everything. And I hadn't memorized it at that point because I wrote it the day before. So I'd set up my laptop and my guitar at his house and I had everything going. And I thought to myself, he's definitely not going to know this is about him. And then it was about like in the first verse, like 2 lines in, I was like, wait, he's definitely gonna know this is about him. There's no way. He's not stupid. He's gonna figure it out. And at that point, I was like, it's too late. It's too late to stop. I just have to power through this. It's gonna be really awkward, but I just have to go to the end now. I can't bring all this stuff, play 2 lines and stop and be like, actually, this is embarrassing. So I played all the way to the end and it was just as awkward as I thought it was gonna be. And there was this like a bit of an awkward silence. He was like, wow, thanks, that's really sweet. And then, like, I think he appreciated it, but what do you say when someone writes a song about you, comes to your house and plays it, like, and then tries to convince you that they're not in love with you? Like, I don't understand what I was thinking at the time, but...
I'm now questioning a couple of my own performances, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Where I've been like, cross the park with my guitar, this'll teach her, she won't even figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we all learn, live and learn,
and learn.
I've learned never to do that again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've learned.
And I have not learned from experience, but in fact from you explaining your experience.
Oh, good,
Thank you
good.
for that.
Then everyone who's listening, all you musicians who decide to play music for the person that you're not in love with, just know they'll figure it out. Yeah. All right.
Know what you're getting into. Let's
Yeah.
hear that song.
Let's do it.
Or they try to.
I saw you dancing on the top of a mountain. I saw you glide amongst the stars. I heard your movement like 1,000 raindrops, like hearing notes within a bar. Like the stillness of a lake in the morning, like the calm before a storm, like a feather falling far from the heavens, like a soul being born. I saw you spinning in the darkness of midnight. I saw you twirling on the moon, and you were haunted haunted by a ring of silver fire, like the calling of a loon. Like an echo fading deep in a canyon, like a shadow in the sea, like the heartbeat of a dying leopard, like the soul of a tree. I saw you flying on the wind as you left footsteps on the clouds, surrounded by a silver halo, like you were born heaven bound.
Or they try to.
That was awesome.
Thank you. It's one of my favorites.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming today. Do you have any upcoming performances? Do you collaborate with other artists?
Yeah, right now I'm working with this artist. Her name is Orange Mist. She's she's from France, but she's basing her career here in Montreal. And she's just an excellent songwriter and a beautiful piano player, violinist, and singer. And we've been working on each other's music. So we have this project going on right now. It's called Mist in the Air. So she's Mist, I'm Air, as in short for Erica. So we don't have any concrete show dates coming up because she's actually leaving for the summer. So we're gonna sort it out and then start performing in probably October or November. But until then, we're doing open mic gigs and kind of things that are a little bit less concrete in terms of time. But just about the structure, the way that we're working it out, since we're both composers and both songwriters, we're learning each other's music. So the music that you've heard today, she's accompanies all of it. She either does backing vocals or plays violin or plays piano. And so she's making my music, frankly, a lot better. And even though I think that my music does stand pretty well on its own, she's really, really improving it, and it's really inspiring to work with her. And what I'm doing with her pieces is I'm doing the percussion, the contemporary percussion for her pieces that's for piano, voice percussion, and violin sometimes. So, and I'm also doing some singing on some of them as well. But when I say contemporary percussion, I mean I'm doing things like bowing glasses and vases and different interesting things to create different sounds. And so I don't have a standardized drum kit or anything like that. I just have a tom, a snare, a cymbal, triangle, and then a bunch of glasses. It's really, really cool sounding.
That's awesome.
So
tell us again your website in case people want to see, because you gotta put the dates up on there.
Oh yeah, okay. So my website, my personal one is ericabridgeman.wix.com. You have to go to /home. I haven't figured out how to fix that yet. But the point is, it's Erica Bridgeman, and if you just Google search me, I come up pretty high on the list, I think. So that's where you can go to find out more about all of my shows and all the things that I'm doing, and with my radio show, which we didn't have the time to talk about yet, and also my orchestra, and I do things with my life. So, but pretty soon, when I'm finished with working on it and we have everything solidified, it's going to be the website mistintheairmusic.wix.com.
Awesome.
And that's where you're going to find all the information about our gigs. And if you are super stoked and want to find out now, it's Mist in the Air Music on Facebook. It's for the two of us. Also, I've got my own page. It's Erica Bridgeman Music on Facebook as well. So lots of ways to keep in touch with us. Lots of ways to find out where our gigs are, and I'll do my best to continue to update them and have actual business running abilities.
Well, awesome. Thank you for coming on the show today. This is actually our pilot of the show. So you're our first victim.
Thank you for allowing me to be your guinea pig. I appreciate the time to be here. No, really seriously, it's been a lot of fun, and thank you so much for having me.
And I'm gonna throw in an old plug from when I had a radio show when I was in college. Since it's the pilot, this is my tagline: "Don't get blood on the floors." Wow. I have to explain it now, don't I?
At least once, yeah.
At least once? Okay, so I was really nervous, and it was my first time interviewing or doing anything, and I had a classical show, and I was explaining how in Mozart and Beethoven's day, instead of having a conductor with a stick that like conducts like this, they had a big stick, like a staff, and they would bang it on the floor like this. And I got really nervous and decided to make a joke, and the joke was, I hope nobody put the staff, because it was actually sharp on the end. I've actually seen them in museums. I hope nobody put the staff right through their foot. That would get blood on the floors. And then at the end of the show, I was trying to tie everything together, and I said, don't get blood on the floors, and that became my tagline forever.
That's pretty fitting for classical music.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds pretty metal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't get blood on the floors.
Nice. I'll try not to.
Awesome. Take care, everyone.
Why should I